Hello, my name is Trevor Yasnow, and this is my Saba, my grandfather. Hi, what is your name?
Larry Simon.
Where were you born?
I was born in Ruskova, in Maramuresh, and the country was Romania at the time.
How would you describe a typical day before the Holocaust?
We were very, very well. We were living in a small village. We were 6 children and the parents. We had a grocery store, and we were doing pretty good.
Good. How old were you when the Holocaust began?
14.
14 years old. What camp did you begin in?
We began in Auschwitz.
Were you in any other camps besides Auschwitz?
I was 4 other camps after Auschwitz.
What camps were these?
It was from Auschwitz we got moved to Braunschweig, then to Waffenstadt, then to Ravensbrück, and then to Ludwigslust. We got liberated in Ludwigslust.
So how did you come to be in Auschwitz at first?
They took us about spring in 1944. They rounded us up and we marched, walking to the nearest big city where they made a ghetto. They put us all in a ghetto in Wischel. And later, a few weeks after, they put us on trains, on cattle trains. It was the Hungarians, but they worked together. Germany occupied our area. We were under Hungary then in 1944, and they put us on trains and took us to Auschwitz. We arrived in Auschwitz in June 1944.
So, as a young teenager, how did you get to work in the fields rather than be sent to the chambers?
Well, they somehow, when Mengele decided who should die and who should live, he picked me to live. He didn't send me to the chambers right away, but he sent my mother and my 3 younger siblings right away to the gas chambers.
So was your complete family there with you when you got rounded up?
When we arrived to Auschwitz, we were complete, but right away they separated us. The women, the men, the children, we got separated. Me and my father went to one camp, and my 2 sisters went to a different camp in Auschwitz. They're different camps. And my 3 younger siblings, with my mother, they went straight to the gas chamber.
So you were separated immediately, right when you got there?
In June.
So, what was a typical day like in Auschwitz?
It was pretty bad. We didn't work much in Auschwitz because I was too young and they didn't need, there was no work in Auschwitz. And we were just, the only thing they kept us there, so they would send us, some people they sent to work in Germany, in the factories, and some people, they worked very little in Auschwitz. It wasn't a working camp. It was a camp where they wanted to kill you. If you were lucky, they picked you to work, you had a chance to stay alive.
So what were the camp conditions like in Auschwitz?
It was very bad. We were cramped in barracks, bunk beds, about 10 people in one bunk bed, with no covers, hardly a cover. We were cold and freezing.
So what kind of work did you do?
When I worked in Braunschweig in a ammunition factory. I was, being a teenager, I didn't do very responsible work. You know, I cleaned, I sandpapered parts, I guess they made parts for airplanes or munition. I don't even know. I did what they told me to do. You know, I was 14 years old.
So what kind of food did they give you at Auschwitz?
In Auschwitz we got one meal a day. We got a slice of bread in the evening with some soup or coffee, and that was supposed to last us the next day. And things were so bad that, let's say you ate a half a slice in the evening and a half a slice you kept for the morning, but certain people stole one from another at night, the half a slice of bread. That's how bad it was.
So how did you feel when you saw dead bodies in Auschwitz?
How did I feel? I got so used to it that it didn't matter. It was you know, it was like a steady thing.
Was it routine?
It's a routine. We knew that this is it. This is the way, but you didn't know when you will be dead.
Right.
Could have been an hour or a morning, next morning or next week.
So how were the soldiers keeping you in the camps, treating you?
Very bad. I mean, there was no favors. They didn't treat us nice or anything. They were rounding us up in the morning and counting us, and rounding us up in the evening and counting us. So that if we didn't escape, there was nowhere to escape anyways. And even if you escaped, you had nowhere to hide. Nobody would hide you. There was Auschwitz is a Poland. The Poles would kill you too. Because we were wearing striped clothes. You couldn't blend in nowhere, even if you would have escaped.
So were there any soldiers with kind hearts at all? Anywhere?
I never met any.
Never met one. So in Auschwitz, did you tell stories to keep your mind occupied?
No, I was just hoping and dreaming to someday to be liberated, to be together again with my parents and my family. Even though my parents didn't live anymore and my siblings didn't live. But I was dreaming. I was thinking of the good times when we were together. You know, that kept me alive. The hope.
So, do you remember when you got liberated? And
Yeah.
if you do, can you please elaborate?
Yes, I got liberated. They used to move us in further into Germany. As the Russians marched further into Germany, they moved us further all the time. And the last time they moved us was in May. They put us on trains to move us, but the train couldn't go anywhere. I guess maybe the Americans had bombed the bridges or the railroads, and they couldn't move us. All of a sudden we saw the guards disappear. So we knew we were liberated.
So, how did you start your life again after the Holocaust?
Well, from Germany I went back to where I was born, to Romania. And over there was the Israeli government. There was no Israel then, from the Jewish, and they organized us to go to Israel. So from there I went to Israel in the end of 1947. So I was in Romania from 1945, end of 45 to the end of 1947.
So, how many family members survived, including yourself?
2 older sisters and myself, that's all.
That's it. Did you meet anyone in the camp that helped you or gave you courage to keep going?
No.
No?
Everybody was in the same boat and everybody minded his own business. No, I didn't meet anybody in the camp that would... I say, the only thing that kept me going was my hope to survive.
So, Are you able to say what you thought of humanity at the end of the Holocaust?
No, I could all say it was so bad. How could something like this happen in a civilized world? To kill so many people, women and children.
So, what you're saying is that hope pretty much kept you alive all these years?
Hope kept me alive.
So, have your views changed in the years since the Holocaust? And if so, in what ways?
No.
Haven't changed one bit?
No.
Can you forgive Germany for what Hitler did?
I don't know yes or no, because it was done, and what if I forgive or I don't forgive? It wouldn't make any difference,
Right.
would it?
So, overall, what was the Holocaust experience in Auschwitz like?
It was bad, very, very bad. Auschwitz was really a camp where they wanted to kill you. They didn't want you to be alive. See, when they moved you from Auschwitz, you had a chance, hope to survive, to live through the war. We didn't know when the war will end. We didn't know what we had, no radios, no televisions, nothing. All we knew were when the bombs came over us, not in Auschwitz, further in, like in Brunswick and in Ludwigslust, that the Americans are close by. We see the planes and the bombs. And the bombs fell, people died. It didn't bother me because I was hoping, I didn't care if I died.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Once again, this is Larry Simon, an Auschwitz survivor. Press the button.
That's your